I played games with my friends all night on the weekend, and when I got up the next day I took my temperature. As expected, it soared to 42 degrees. I was definitely not going to work today. With a heavy head, I sent a message to the administrative director, asking for a day off because of a fever. After sending the message, I had a severe headache and fell asleep under the quilt. I didn't expect to be awakened by a loud noise in the middle of the night. I thought it was a good buddy who came to give me medicine. Just as I was about to get out of bed and open the door, a woman rushed in like crazy and hugged me tightly. I wanted to push him away with a cute face. If I wasn't sick and weak, I would really jump up and kick him. I kissed my emotions, and when I saw the face of the person opposite me clearly, I was so scared that I trembled. The person who just hugged me tightly was Liu Ruyan, the company's new cold and aloof female president. She was also the goddess I licked for 4 years in college but never got. The corners of the woman's eyes were slightly red, as if she had just cried. I took a breath of cold air. Could it be that because I had a fever and didn't go to work, the company went bankrupt after sleeping for a few hours? Just as I was stunned, Liu Ruyan took another step forward and grabbed my ear. It hurts, let go, I'm a patient. He frowned, as if he was saying something to me with his eyes, but I didn't understand. The next second he grabbed my ear and left the house. Then I was thrown into a Maybach. Liu Ruyan half leaned into the back seat and pressed my shoulders with both hands. He forced me to look directly into his eyes. At this time, his beautiful facial features were twisted into a ball, and his whole body was trembling slightly. Does it hurt? I will never allow you to marry someone else. If you get married, the bride must be me. Liu Ruyan gritted her teeth and said word by word. The pronunciation of these words is very heavy, as if to bite me to pieces. My mother lies at home, and my wife comes from heaven. When I chased her and licked her, she was not like this. I confessed to her countless times during the 4 years of college. She refused every time when I served tea and water, wrote love letters and posted them on the white wall, and the reasons for each refusal were different. Why did she want to marry me just because she had a fever this time? Is she sick? Or am I hallucinating because of the fever? When I was about to slap myself in the face, something stuck to my lips unexpectedly. I saw that I was kissed by force. I don't know how long it took, but he finally let me go, and Liu Ruyan's ears were red. She gently stroked my cheek, whether it hurts or not. You are still the same as before. You will blush when you have a guilty conscience. I was stunned. Sister, is it possible that I have a fever and my face is red? Liu Ruyan's lips are so soft. When I arrived at the hospital, I quietly opened the curtains and looked at Liu Ruyan in the next bed. She was leaning on the bed. My right hand touched my cheek, and my left hand was pierced with a needle. Because of the fever, 2 buttons of my shirt were cut. The white and smooth clavicle was vaguely exposed. Liu Ruyan's face was flushed and her eyes were dull. At this time she was frowning and staring at the front, thinking about life. That's right, because he kissed me and was infected by me, he drove me home and soon he had a high fever. In the end I called 120 and took us to the hospital. Liu Ruyan and I are now feverish and lying in the hospital for infusion. I really want to laugh. Seeing her aggrieved look, I don't know why I feel that my fever has subsided and I am refreshed at this time. Just when I was extremely proud, my cell phone rang. It was 1:30 in the morning. I wondered who was calling me so late. I clicked on it and saw that it was a group message. The group headquarters issued an emergency notice overnight. The company's employees need to apply for leave in writing. You are not allowed to ask for leave by leaving messages on any chat software or by verbal leave. I held the phone in confusion. Wasn't it still possible to send it yesterday? I clicked on the message sent to the administrative supervisor. I didn't know until I saw it. I was shocked. I changed the message of sick leave for fever to marriage leave for being coquettish. When I saw this, I suddenly felt enlightened. I don't think I'm coquettish at all. If it was because of this reason, then I understood what Liu Ruyan said about getting married just now. She thought I was getting married, so she ran to grab the marriage overnight. So that's how it is. I suddenly felt like crying. It's going to rain, and my father is going to get married. Is the cabbage I pushed finally going to get it? I pulled aside the curtains and looked at her. Liu Ruyan seemed to feel that I was looking at her and turned her face to the opposite direction, like a shy girl. What a woman who plays hard to get. That Liu Ruyan, what do you mean by marriage just now? I was dizzy and didn't hear clearly. I asked her tentatively, but she didn't answer for a long time. I guess she must be struggling fiercely in her heart. Maybe my fever was too high and I was hallucinating. Sorry, I glanced at her secretly, but she still didn't respond. In that case, I'll leave. My fever has gone down, so I won't disturb you to rest. I pretended to get up and pack my things. Feng Yuan Liu Ruyan called me softly and said, I want some water. There's water on the table. You can get it yourself. She raised her hand with the 4-tube and said, I can't drink it myself. Okay. I handed the water to her. She returned to her usual cold look and asked, Didn't you see that I have no hands to hold it? Then what's in your left hand? After hearing this, Liu Ruyan put her left hand behind her. If I hadn't been looking at this pretty face, I really wanted to punch him. After gulping down a few sips of water, he kept staring at me. I still remember the look of losing me and the whole world just now. The door of the ward was suddenly pushed open. A woman in her 50s tiptoed into the ward. When she saw me, she was stunned at first, then she looked around me carefully and said, "This must be my good son-in-law Fang Yuan." Then she turned around and changed her face. She said to Liu Ruyan fiercely, "Liu Ruyan, I heard that you kissed my son-in-law and got a fever." Liu Ruyan sat on the bed, looking aggrieved. "Mom, it was your son-in-law who kissed me and got a fever." "What a mess. I kissed him and got a fever." "Stop, how did I suddenly become the son-in-law of the Liu family?" Liu Ruyan looked at me and slowly told me what happened in the afternoon. It was probably when the company's administrative director submitted the attendance sheet before leaving work. Liu Ruyan saw that I didn't come to work, so she casually asked why I didn't come. The supervisor said that I had to take a day off to get married. As a result, Liu Ruyan, who was known for her cold and expressionless face, panicked in front of everyone for the first time. She first stood there for 10 seconds, then picked up the small fish tank on the table and gulped down a few mouthfuls of water. Later, I don't know what kind of struggle she went through, but she called her parents and said that she was going to do something big and would die if she didn't succeed. So, the scene at the beginning where she went to my house and kicked the door happened. Now the three of us are looking at each other in the ward, and the atmosphere is a bit awkward. Since we have figured out that it is a misunderstanding, I can leave now. I stood up and tried to force a smile. Aunt Lu's fever should have subsided. If everything is fine, I will leave first. No, they spoke almost at the same time. Liu Ruyan gave his mother a look, and Aunt Lu immediately cried sadly. Howling, "Ouch, I forgot to turn off the fire for the chicken soup I made at home. I have to go back to see my good son-in-law. Your fever just subsided, you are still weak, don't be too tired, and have a good rest in the hospital with Ruyan. Mom will go back to make some chicken soup for you to replenish your body." Liu Ruyan lay down on the bed. "I can't take it anymore, I'm hungry and thirsty, but it hurts. This mother and daughter should know that their acting skills are very bad. Forget it." I waved my hand. "I'll take care of Mr. Liu." After sending Liu Ruyan's mother away, I sat on the chair and crossed my legs. "Liu Ruyan, what on earth do you want to do? I've been chasing you for 4 years, and you rejected you every time. What are you doing now?" Liu Ruyan turned around and stretched out her hand to hug me, but her arm was entangled by the infusion tube. She helplessly lowered her hand, waiting for her. When she raised her head again, her eyes were red. "Fang Yuan, I'm sorry." "What do you mean I'm sorry?" I was a little confused. Before she spoke, the door of the ward was opened by Liu Ruyan's mother again and said, "Good son-in-law, this is for you." She stuffed something in the crack of the door and quickly closed it. I picked it up and saw that it was a locked diary. I turned my head and confirmed my look with Liu Ruyan. "This diary is for me." I opened the diary. The handwriting inside was handsome and densely written on every page. I have liked him for 3 years, so I naturally recognized Liu Ruyan's handwriting. May 22nd, 2020. The weather was fine. Today was the school go competition. I played against that boy in the class. As a result, Come on, I winked at him several times, asking him not to call my name, but he didn't seem to understand what I meant. He was a little silly but still cute. I remembered that at this time I thought Liu Ruyan hated me, otherwise why would she keep rolling her eyes at me? Her diary really seemed like a chronicle, boring but making people want to read on. I smiled helplessly and turned to the next page. June 15th, 2020. It was raining today. I met the boy again in the library. He ran over to ask me if he could take me back to the dormitory. I really wanted to go back to the dormitory with him, but I couldn't. I refused him. I could see that he was very disappointed with me. His fingers clenched a little. Library, it was indeed me who took the initiative to find Liu Ruyan. I just wanted to send her back to the dormitory, but she rejected me. Later, I walked back to the dormitory slowly by myself. I was sad for a long time. I continued to flip through the pages. On July 22nd, 2020, I had a holiday after taking the last course. I always felt empty in my heart. It would take a long time. I couldn't see that boy. I might miss him. Don't read out the rest. Liu Ruyan pretended to be calm, but she was trembling slightly when she held the water cup. The diary was very thick, and every page was filled with his thoughts in his girlhood. It turned out that he liked me too, even earlier than I liked him. There was a reason why he rejected me so many times. Liu Ruyan suffered from congenital heart disease. He was afraid that we could not reach the future, so he rejected me again and again. I refused him. He was so stupid. Did he read too many romance novels and was unworthy of dating because of heart disease? He was afraid that we would not have a future, but what he didn't understand was that he was my only future at that time. He was the future I had always thought of. The first time I saw him, I thought of the name of our child. Liu Ruyan passed away before finishing her senior year. Rumor had it that she was going abroad for graduate studies, but actually she went abroad for heart surgery. Fortunately, the operation went smoothly. Liu Ruyan rested for another year and recovered well, but her immunity was poor, otherwise she would not have had a fever so easily. I looked at Liu Ruyan sleeping on the hospital bed, feeling distressed and angry. Liu Ruyan, how are you going to pay back the 4 years you owe me? After the operation was successful, he continued his studies abroad. Later, he rejected the offer from a foreign company and chose to return to China. He wrote in his diary that he would come back to find me. I never expected that the cliched plot of a romance novel would happen to me. I looked at Liu Ruyan, who was sleeping beside me, and my heart was like an overturned bottle of mixed feelings. After he left, I never saw him again. He has lost a lot of weight in the past 4 years. His face no longer has the youthful look of a girl. Instead, he has a cold and aloof temperament that keeps strangers away. His handsome features have become more delicate with the passage of time. I lifted the quilt for her. and it seemed that the movement was too big. Liu Ruyan's beautiful eyes slowly opened. My hand that was covering her with the quilt froze in midair. The atmosphere was a little subtle. I've seen it all. I know everything. You don't have to apologize. Understandable. I don't blame you. After all, health is the most important thing. Health is the capital of revolution. Without health, nothing is. I know you came back for me and came to our company specially. I understand your intention. Can I think about it again? I said my thoughts in one breath. Liu Ruyan looked at me with his head tilted, with 5 points of grievance and 5 points of pain in his eyes. He grinned and said to me, "Consider it, then consider it. Why do you want me to have an 4 tube?" On my first day at work after recovering from my illness, I heard 5 pieces of gossip about me in the company. To be precise, it was our gossip. In the morning, before I even had time to warm up my workstation, I was pulled aside by my colleagues. "Fang Yuan, you're finally here. I'm going to tell you a super invincible gossip. Do you want to listen?" I nodded like a chicken pecking at rice. "You know the new CEO Liu, the one who is very cold. He hasn't come to the company this week. I heard that he went back to grab a bride." My naivety didn't allow me to see that CEO Liu, who usually keeps strangers away, is so courageous. I wonder which man can make him do such a thing. I nodded in agreement. I wonder which man can make CEO Liu do this. CEO Liu is so beautiful. How handsome must the man be to deserve him to do this? After hearing this, I quickly sat up straight. Yes, he must be very handsome. An hour later, I heard another version in the bathroom. Our CEO Liu is really pitiful. I heard that the man who was engaged to him married someone else. Didn't he not come last week? In fact, he went back to grab a bride. I went there and I didn't know what happened. So miserable. I didn't expect such an excellent person would encounter such a thing. It's so bad. Yes, I've heard about it too. The man is such a scumbag. He has his cake and eat it too. Isn't he too timing? When I went to eat at noon, I heard the third version. Mr. Liu had been in a foreign love relationship with his first love for 5 years. It was agreed that they would get married when the man came back from abroad this year, but the man turned around and married someone else. Liu Ruyan lost her mind and rushed to the wedding scene on the spot. When this colleague gossiped, he was just like the real person at the scene. What he said was so convincing. If I hadn't been with Liu Ruyan, I would have almost believed it. I finally made it to the end of the get-off work day. I was packing up to go home, but a voice called Fang Yuan to wait for me downstairs after get-off work. I was shocked on the spot, and so was my colleague. He had just recovered from a serious illness and his face was still a little pale. He raised his wrist and glanced at the time. 10 minutes later, you go downstairs and wait for me. After saying that, Liu Ruyan raised the corner of her mouth, revealing 2 small canine teeth. I was stunned and replied stupidly, "Okay." As soon as Liu Ruyan entered the elevator, the pot behind me exploded. I knocked on the door. "Brother Yun, you know Mr. Liu, Brother Yun, why did Mr. Liu ask you to wait for him? What's going on?" "That's right, it's only been a few days since we last met. When did you become so familiar with Mr. Liu?" I squeezed out of the crowd. Mr. Liu and I were college classmates, so of course we knew each other. He asked me to wait for him, maybe he has something to do. I haven't been for a week. Are you coming? It's probably about work. As for him going to steal the bride, I don't know the situation, I don't know anything. After saying that, I quickly slipped away, for fear that I would be exposed if I stayed for a second longer. 10 minutes later, I got on Liu Ruyan's Maybach. Liu Ruyan leaned over to fasten my seatbelt. Her slender fingers gently rubbed my head. This woman is really bad. When I was thinking about it, Liu Ruyan's voice suddenly rang in my ears. "Fang Yuan, you are really useless. You are almost 30 years old and you are still so talkative." I shook my head. Before, I thought I had no feelings for her. But 3 months ago, when I saw her again at the company's morning meeting, my heart still skipped a beat. She was the company's first. The newly appointed CEO is rich, single and beautiful. She has been in the company for less than 3 months, and the legend about her is circulating in the company. She is still so dazzling, and people can't help but look at her just standing there. It's true that you can't meet someone too amazing when you are young. Otherwise you will not want to settle for it for the rest of your life. "Can you come to my house for dinner this weekend?" Liu Ruyan glanced at me cautiously and said, "My mother wants to treat you to a meal. She said that last time I had the flu and a fever. Thank you for taking me to the hospital. Thanks to your care, you don't have to thank me, it's just a small favor." I quickly replied that my mother is old and not in good health. She can't be stimulated. He doesn't have any big wishes in this life. He just wants to have a good meal with his future son-in-law. Liu Ruyan's tone is slowly softened like a kitten begging, "Wait, what son-in-law? Don't talk nonsense." July 15th, 2020. "When you first confessed to me, you said you wanted to be my boyfriend and marry me." Liu Ruyan said here, silent for a while, turned around again but her eyes were red. "I'm sorry, Fang Yuan. At that time I also said in my heart if I could still live I would definitely marry you." I covered her mouth. "What, alive or dead?" "Ba. I promise you, just go on the weekend." Her eyes lit up again and soon it was the weekend. Liu Ruyan came downstairs to wait for me early. Before I sat in his car, he stepped on the accelerator to the bottom. The car door was welded shut, for fear that I would regret it. Arrived at the Liu family villa. Before entering the door, Liu Ruyan's mother came to greet me. Aunt Liu was very enthusiastic and kind to me. She looked like she knew me very well. She had only met me once, but it seemed as if she had known me for many years. Seeing my confusion, Liu Ruyan leaned close to my ear and whispered, "My mother knows my diary by heart and knows everything about you." At that time, I thought I could not leave the operating room, so I asked my mother to bring the diary to you if I could not get off the operating table. At this point she smiled. "Fortunately, I can still give it to you in person." That night, Aunt Liu told me a lot about Liu Ruyan, about her illness, about her heart, and her regrets. and her hopes. Liu Ruyan's mother said sorry to me many times. She understood how bitter a boy's youth is, so it doesn't matter if I don't like Liu Ruyan now. They won't morally blackmail me if I still like her. I hope I will give Liu Ruyan a chance. It's okay if I don't like her. I should have my own life. You think about it carefully first. Aunt Liu touched my hand. Follow your heart. Liu Ruyan sent me home. We were silent. The car drove to a milk tea shop and stopped. Do you want milk tea? I'll buy it for you, or the original taro paste. Bobo. Okay, then you wait in the car. I'll go buy some, no taro paste, just bobo, okay? 5 minutes later, Liu Ruyan got in the car holding a cup of milk tea. You used to like taro paste the most. Why don't you want taro paste now? She put a straw in for me and muttered softly, yes, I just want bobo. I pulled her head over and kissed her on the mouth and agreed to be Liu Ruyan's boyfriend, but we had to make an appointment in advance and don't make the 3 rules public yet. Otherwise he has only been in the company for 3 months, and I have already chased the cold female president. How ugly it would be if this got out. Moreover, when the company was spreading gossip about him crazily 2 months ago, I also said bad things about him. I was careful everywhere in the company for fear that I would accidentally. I felt like someone had caught me. After all, the company had a clear rule prohibiting office romances, but Liu Ruyan seemed to be getting more and more out of control, running to my office from time to time. I asked him not to hang around our department all the time, and he was very obedient, but later he asked me to go to his office for various reasons. For example, after the morning meeting today, I just turned on the computer and my supervisor came running over in a hurry, patting his chest and panting, Mr. Liu, let me go to his office. When the male colleagues in the front and back rows heard it was Mr. Liu, they turned their heads around at the same time. I pretended to be calm on the surface, tapping on the keyboard with my hands without raising my head, saying, sorry, supervisor. I'm not free right now, I'm busy. 10 minutes later, Mr. Fongyuan Liu, I asked you to bring in the financial statements for last quarter. Aren't financial statements the responsibility of the finance department? Mr. Fongyuan Liu, I asked you to print out the attendance sheet for last month. Isn't attendance the responsibility of the administrative department? This is not my job. Mr. Fongyuan Liu, I asked you to make him a cup of coffee with milk but no sugar. Sorry, supervisor, I don't know how to make coffee. Mr. Fongyuan Liu, the air conditioner in the office is broken, so I asked you to go in and take a look. I can't stand it anymore. Amid the whispers of my colleagues, I picked up a bench and walked into Liu Ruyan's office. Later, I paid 10 kisses for his honesty. A week later, under the giddy eyes of my colleagues, I could only explain that I went to repair the air conditioner. I majored in electromechanical maintenance in college, but Chen Dong put me in the office again. Pulling her aside, he said mysteriously, Brother Yuan, you have to stay away from Liu Ruyan. Didn't you notice that Mr. Liu wanted to flirt with you? My heart tightened thinking, is it so obvious? Didn't he have a fiancée who went to grab the marriage last time? Now he suddenly wants to seduce you. It seems that his character is really not that good. We were all deceived by his appearance and thought he was very loyal. Chen Dong complained with a look of contempt. I agreed with him with trembling hands. Yes. Chen Dong wanted to continue talking, but I quickly pushed him down. I really went in to fix the air conditioner. Mr. Liu and I were college classmates, and I knew that I could do some simple mechanical and electrical maintenance. You know, Brother Yuan, I didn't study much, don't treat me as a fool. Chen Dong said doubtfully. Yes, I didn't lie to you. I suddenly felt a little guilty. I'll explain to you later. That's how we spent our time. After 2 months, Ling Xiu's appearance broke our harmonious picture of hiding from each other. Ling Xiu is the manager of the public relations department. He is not very old and is 1.8 meters tall. He is the kind of feminine, soft-spoken homebody killer. He was sent abroad to study for half a year before. Now he has returned to China after completing his studies. As a canary-like person like him, there are naturally many legends about him in the company. It is rumored that he has had more girlfriends than hares. He is the male god in the hearts of hundreds of millions of beautiful girls, and his love history is the kind that can be published in a book. We have posted anonymously on the company forum more than once, asking the manager to publish a book to teach some love secrets. Lin Xiu is a good person. Every time he comes back from abroad, he will bring us some small gifts. He is friendly and seems to have a good family background. A real rich second generation, but he never puts on airs in front of us, but everything depends on if he is not my rival in love. From the first day Ling Xiu came back, I fell into anxiety. Ling Xiu should be the type that all women like, 1.8 meters tall with 8 abdominal muscles, a scumbag tinfoil perm. I began to feel unconfident about my relationship with Liu Ruyan because Ling Xiu, in the 5 days since he came back, he went to Liu Ruyan's office a total of 8 times. I admit that when he went in for the 8th time I panicked, because I accidentally searched for Ling Xiu's Weibo account. He posted a Weibo last night. I will take you down within a month. I guess the you he mentioned is Liu Ruyan. Can I tolerate this? Of course I can't tolerate it, so Lin Xiu pretended in front of Liu Ruyan. When Lin Xiu poured coffee for Liu Ruyan, I poured him a glass of milk. Lin Xiu mistakenly put his own photo into the file for Liu Ruyan, so I put more than a dozen of my beautified photos into a folder and stuffed it into Liu Ruyan. A week later, Liu Ruyan looked at me in the car with a puzzled look. Fang Yuan, have I made you angry recently? Let me put it this way. Today you broke the succulent pot in my office once, deliberately tripped me 3 times, and printed and handled documents 4 times. Fang Yuan, don't you love me? I quickly sat up and asked, why do I go into your office every day? He comes in to report on his work. Does he need to come in 4 or 5 times a day to report on his work? Fang Yuan, you are right to remind me. He has to repeat many times what he can say all at once. He did the same thing and I also copied the wrong file. Could it be that Liu Ruyan seemed to be thinking about something, and there was something wrong with him? Before I finished speaking, did he want to resign? Liu Ruyan interrupted me self-righteously and even thought he was very smart, but no, he has a lot of customer resources. I'll go say hello to the HR manager and ask him to pay attention to Lin Xiu's every move recently and not take any of the company's customers away. Ruyan was still talking to herself, thinking that she had discovered something big. Forget it, we don't understand the world of the president. For several days in a row, my colleagues have begun to secretly bet, wanting to see how many days it will take for Lin Xiu to win over Liu Ruyan. Look at you all, you can see that Lin Xiu is interested in Mr. Liu, even a fool can see that. Doesn't Mr. Liu have a fiancé? Isn't it a bit inappropriate? Didn't we succeed last time? Mr. Liu didn't even wear a ring. I suddenly had an epiphany. That's right, Liu Ruyan didn't wear a ring. If she wore a ring, wouldn't it mean that she was taken? In the evening, I took Liu Ruyan shopping and bought her a ring to wear on her ring finger. Then I would find a chance to make it official and say that we had been dating before I came to work. Wouldn't that not be considered an office romance? When I was about to get off work in the afternoon, I sent a message to Liu Ruyan asking if we could go shopping together tonight. Unexpectedly, she rejected me, saying that she had something to deal with at work and she had to work overtime tonight. She also sent me a pitiful expression. Let's go shopping another day. I slipped away as soon as I got off work and returned home early, ready to show off my cooking skills and make a sumptuous dinner and wait for him after working overtime. He came to my place to eat before going back. As a result, I waited until 8 o'clock in the evening. I didn't know if he had finished overtime. I didn't dare to call him because I was afraid that he was busy. I kept waiting until 9 o'clock in the evening, but he still didn't reply to my message. He rarely didn't reply to my message like this. I don't know why, but I felt a little uneasy in my heart, but I thought I should believe him. I packed dinner in an insulated lunchbox, put on a piece of clothes casually, and took a taxi straight to the company. When I got downstairs, I looked at the company. The lights on the 18th floor seemed to be off. Liu Ruyan had left. Then where did he go, and why didn't he reply to my message? I took out my mobile phone and called him, but the voice prompt was busy. When I was about to leave, I looked at the company again. Something was wrong. There seemed to be some lights on the 18th floor. So I turned around and ran towards the company. I knew why I slowed down deliberately when I was almost there. Mr. Liu, please be gentle, please be quick. This soft and weak voice was from Lin Xiu, and the other girl with a low voice was from Liu Ruyan. Lin Xiu's voice was a little impatient. Okay, they are actually in the office behind my back. It's hard to imagine that the woman who hugged me and called me husband yesterday is in the office with other men today. Haha, of course I'm not someone who can be bullied. I kept repeating to myself, it's okay. Don't panic no matter what you see later. If I can let him go once, I can let him go a second time. As for women, the old doesn't go and the new doesn't come. I should show the courage of Ling Xiu and change 99 and 82 women a year, every week without repeating myself. I took a deep breath, took out my mobile phone on the spot, and turned on all the lights in the company. I want to see what dirty things they are doing here. I was stunned when the lights were turned on, and so were Liu Ruyan and Ling Xiu. What are you two doing squatting on the ground? I was the first to ask the question. Liu Ruyan reacted quickly. She quickly ran to the main control of the light and turned off the light. Then she pulled me to squat on the ground. I was confused. Liu Ruyan pulled me to her side. Ling Xiu squatted and looked at the laptop on the ground. There were still 10 minutes to copy. Hang on. What are you doing here? I also learned to lower my voice. Liu Ruyan pulled my legs over to pat his butt. After 10 minutes, the computer showed that the file had been transferred. Lin Xiu held the hard drive. Thank you, Mr. Liu. Happy cooperation. Hey, what are you two doing? I couldn't help but wonder, I'll tell you when I get back. Liu Ruyan took my hand. As the saying goes, the simplest business war often only requires getting the other party's illegal record to make the other party unable to turn over for the rest of their lives. In the past 2 months, Lin Xiu pretended to surrender. Another director of the company, Mr. Wang, wanted to catch Liu Ruyan's pigtail. Liu Ruyan also deliberately exposed her flaws and waited for the other party to relax your vigilance, and catch them all in one fell swoop. After digging holes for several months, Mr. Wang should be finished. Liu Ruyan and Lin Xiu have recovered hundreds of millions of losses for the company, and successfully brought down the Wang family. As a small employee, I certainly don't understand this kind of struggle between senior executives. In short, not long after, the company changed. The Weibo post sent by Lin Xiu was not referring to Liu Ruyan, but his new target. Of course, he succeeded again. At the company's year-end party, Liu Ruyan will go on stage to give a speech as a new director. I was sitting in the audience and looked at him dazzling on the stage. He was lowering his head and pressing his phone. After a while, my phone vibrated twice. Fang Yuan has a surprise for you. I sent 3 question marks in a row. Before I finished speaking, the host invited Liu Ruyan to go on stage to give a speech. Hundreds of people in the audience stared at him intently. The male colleagues in the company had already taken out their phones and started taking pictures. I saw Liu Ruyan straightened her clothes, then swept her eyes across the crowd and looked at my position. Thank you all for your recognition of me. I came up here today to thank someone, because he allowed me to stick to my own nature. He is my courage, my faith, and my light. Liu Ruyan said a lot afterwards, but I didn't hear it. When everyone looked at me, I only heard my heartbeat. Liu Ruyan walked up to me in front of everyone. Chun Dong stood beside me and pinched my philtrum. Lin Xiu took a photo and sent it to his new girlfriend. Even my ferocious supervisor showed an anti-smile. Together, they pushed me towards Liu Ruyan. Liu Ruyan's face was full of smiles and his eyes were full of tenderness. When he walked in front of me, he took out a diamond ring and knelt on one knee. Fang Yuan, I have been waiting for this day for a long time. From the first time I saw you 7 years ago until now, I have been looking forward to this day every day. Will you marry me? I feel like I can't breathe. Amid the shouts of the crowd, I also took out the diamond ring I bought secretly, and then said I do and rushed up to hug her. It's over.